Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Great Ace Attorney. We're moving on with episode 2. Well, in the middle of it, so it's been quite a while, but I know what's happening. We got a fake Shakespeare going around calling himself Shamspeare. But here we are, back at the consultary. Woo, we made it back in one piece. Just one piece. To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There were so many carriages on the streets of London, you were very nearly flattened several times. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Duh. Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I was in awe of you. Oh. They're in one piece? Man, where's Luffy? Where's Zolo? Oh, thank you. By the way, audio all good? And now that your fervent exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for court tomorrow. Wait, we can't? Yeah, so let's do that. Is everything alright? I suppose. I still can't quite believe it. That's all. That I'm here in England working as a lawyer, in the Old Bailey, no less. Hold on. I'm not centered. I want to be centered. The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him standing here in my shoes. It should be Kazuma. It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him. Yes, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. By the way, can I mention one thing? The circle works much better. If I were still a square, I'm pretty sure I'd still be blocking some of the text right there. And text blocking is a no good. And you're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I've no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if he were here with us. Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you. Aw, isn't that sweet? Isn't she great? Don't we just love Susato-san? Don't we just appreciate Susato-san? Here, look at my armband. You've been wearing that ever since we arrived in Great Britain, haven't ya? Well, it's what shows that I'm a lawyer, so it seems appropriate. Susato is Pagato. Pagato, there we go. It means the Pog Cat. Not really, don't take that with a grain of salt. I'm not sure that it really means much in this country though, I'm afraid. I wouldn't say that, it might not be official, but it looks official. Often when the police stop me, I just show them this and they leave me alone. You're stopped by the police? Often? Well, you know, I'm a sus foreigner dressed in all black with a sword at my side. I do think it's probably the sword that's the main reason. It's the sword, right? If I walked around with a giant katana, would I be stopped for the sloth suit or the katana? Still, it makes me happy to see you wearing it, and the armband. Yes, I made it up my mind that I'll carry them always. This symbol of who I am and the sword, Kuruma. Will there ever be like a sword minigame where I actually have to use the sword? It becomes a fighting game of some sort? It was quite a shock early today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand. I know, not only that, but then finding out that he is actually a barefaced gas thief as well. Oh yeah, because Shamspeare was trying to get free gas by using soapy coins. Soap coins! And then they melt. It's such a weird thing. It's like he was making ice coins from a bar of soap, put them in, then they melt, so there's no evidence of wet coin. Wait a minute. That's my new Bitcoin idea. Soapy coin. Wet coin. Soppin' wet coin. Moist coin. Moist coin is my idea. Man, that's gonna go so well. No. Moin? Ew, I hate that. I really don't like moist coin being moin. Moist coin is moin. Forget it. Forget the idea. It's so hot. Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. For a while, it seemed as though everyone had quite forgotten about Soseki-san poisoning the tea. Wait, poisoning the tea? Careful of your phrasing, Susato-san. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to this Mr. Shamspear than we yet know. I'm sure of it. Mr. Shamspear certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first. What's become of him, actually? I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital ward where he was receiving treatment. Oh, which one is that? The only one in the world? Let me see. Ah, he's at St. Bartholomew's, or Bart's as Londoners call it. We know that place, don't we? Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. Miss Olive Green. It's the same hospital to which she was taken. The only hospital ever. Ah, yes, after Soseki-san stabbed her in the back. Do be careful of your phrasing, Naruhodo-san. He didn't stab anyone. He didn't poison anybody. What did he do? Perhaps we both owe Soseki-san an apology. St. Bart's. Yes, we should probably visit the hospital later. Or now. So, we know that Soseki-san took tea to the victim on the night in question. But as he isn't the culprit, then obviously... Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea. But if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mr. Shamspear's body? I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Shamspear's room that will help solve the mystery. Well, naturally, Scotland Yard detectives have been over that place already. But it couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think. Definitely. And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left in the bar of soap. Well, if we run into Inspector Gregson, we can ask him about that. So, you're telling me, with my tea, I can actually make some free money that way? It's still burning hot, what the flip? I don't want to burn my tongue already. Kazuma Asogi, the best friend I ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. He really saved my bacon in that horrible incident just before we left Japan. There's the boy. I can still picture him now, in this picture, looking so fierce and determined in court, and then after the trial, that crazy idea he came up with. As a stowaway? Yes, you can fit inside of my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know. Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through that trial. That you really ought to go in law. Be a defense lawyer. Maybe your future generations might become one as well. You've got a natural talent for it. Believe me, I guarantee it. I mean, imagine having descendants that are lawyers, and then in return, you are also a lawyer. Imagine in the future, like Phoenix Wright's kids, or like, you know what? I want to be a magician, Tracy Wright. For some reason, she becomes a lawyer too. Everyone in the Phoenix Wright family, in the Phoenix Wright name, just becomes a lawyer. They are destined to be lawyers. Tracy Wright is going to be magician/lawyer, just you wait. But I've never even thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you, obviously. You have to decide for yourself. But anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world, the city at the forefront of everything. It can't hurt for you to see with your own eyes. No, that's true. I suppose, though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day... One day what? Oh, no. Never mind. And we'll never know because he's... Naruhodo-san? Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about Kazuma. Yes, he's forever in my thoughts too. To change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. And that's why he so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course. Yes, that's right. But... Yes? I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know, the thought just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all. His true intentions. Naruhodo-san, what do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions? Oh. Wow, I was not expecting him to bring out the sword. I mean this. His katana? I never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma passed away, of course. No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it. When I have it at my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage. POV, you are not a holdo. Sword. That is my character. Yes. Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Sword lore? Sword lore. Let's go. Kuruma? The sword goes on forever, doesn't it? That's right, it's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Kuruma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do? Yes. I appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. And then I let him down. What did he mean by something very important that I have to do? I had hoped the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but as yet I've not found a single clue. I see. Hopefully we'll find out more about this sword lore in the future. Alright, let's see. Shall we go say hello to Mr. Sholmes and Miss Iris? While I finally drink up this tea. It's still so hot, I don't want to drink it yet. I'm scared. Oh, Bruno and Susie. Hooray, you're back. Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am, and you look as immaculately presented as ever, Susie, with your new clothes. Oh, you flatter me. Well, you couldn't have come at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups. Everybody's drinking tea. Hopefully there's no poison. Really, thanks, Iris. But actually, what is that foul smell? And then we turn over to Sholmes. Aha, the Wanderers return at last. Where on earth have the pair of you been? We've been in court? Oh, for Mr. Mustache's case? That was today, was it? I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure you think you did. Well, we can laugh about it now. So tell me, how did the trial go? Reasonably well so far. We managed to escape without a guilty verdict, at least. Really, I would have liked to see it. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long. Is Lord Von Zieks an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes? Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Naruhodo. Not quite what I asked, but still. Mr. Sholmes? Whatever is that odor? Yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful. Ah, indeed, that's the son of victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science. Oh, dear. Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now? He smells weird. Why does he smell the weird? Oh, before we talk about the smell, let's talk about Von Zieks. Lord Barak Von Zieks. Yes, it's an interesting sobriquet he has. It's an interesting sobriquet he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she is found not guilty by the courts, sooner or later, the hapless soul will vanish from the capital. But vanish how exactly? By falling under a passing carriage, or drowning in the Thames. Or succumbing to a sudden fever, or quite out of the blue being set upon a by a highwayman. Or let's say, being burned alive. There were numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow. It all seems a little far-fetched, really. Well, on the bright side, Mr. Moustache is fighting fit, for the time being at least. That's not overly reassuring. If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord Von Zeke's own hand. As it happens, Mr. Sato, that is quite impossible. Oh? Why? Naturally, the man very quickly came under such sus. However, whenever these incidents occurred, the Reaper always had a cast iron alibi. Really? And so his reign continued, but 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. Until I came along. That is, until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, so I've heard. His alibi was, I was not there. Not guilty, you are innocent, my dear man. Hold on, I gotta see if this tea is just ready yet. It's been a while since I drank tea, so I gotta get that taste back in my mouth again. It's like a mix of mint and other stuff. I don't know what the other stuff is, but hopefully it's not poison. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey. That bitter fight to the death conceded with the Reaper's resurrection. Coincided. And really did end bitterly indeed. And here you are facing Mr. Reaper again. Poor Runo. I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky or incredibly unlikable. I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people. Ah, yes. What is it about Japanese people? But first, the foul smell. So, what is that indescribably foul smell? Ah, well, most probably this, I would say. What is that? My dear fellow, it is, of course, my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at the drop of some tea. Oh my. There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the stalls along some of London's less frequent streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high-quality tea, but is in fact merely dyed leaves of drab flavor. Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior. So when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris? Eyes. At the ready, Hurley. Oh boy, we're gonna put the liquid in the tea. Let us add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens? Ew, it turned to coffee. It's turned completely black. So the liquid turns tea into coffee? And what a foul odor it's giving off. Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes and the more foul the odor, the better the tea is. It would appear that this cup was a particularly fine Darjeeling. That's very ingenious, but what do you do with that black liquid now? Drink it. Why dispose of it naturally? Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you? There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes. Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam. Right. The point is, we're entering a new era of science. In the world of criminal investigation also. Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times. Oh boy, I can't wait for fingerprint analysis. I regularly engage in the scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. The Herlock Sholmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative technique is based. This little tea indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research. Forensic science? I suppose I should find out more about that. But first, we'll talk about Japanese people in a bit. So your tea test, is that an example of forensic science? Indeed it is. An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality. Not a huge number of cases then. Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints? Not yet accepted in our courts as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels there. I hadn't even heard of them until recently. Which is partly why I undertake research in this field myself, of course. Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes? There are others in that field already, and I abhor the company of inferior minds. No, what I'm researching is skin prints. We take your skin off and print it. Skin prints? A nomenclature of my own design, as is this chemical agent that makes it possible. It instantly reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation. Brilliant, Mr. Sholmes. As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black. I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed. It turns everyone green. Why did he insist on using such advanced words in this game? For the advanced minds such as I know how to say ingenious, air conditioner, book. Those difficult words are easier for me because of this game, and I thank this game. With Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending, being Japanese as well as Miss Usato and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Von Zeke seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese. Indeed. It is an interesting observation. Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes? It was about 10 years ago that Varric Von Zeke chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan. No! What the? Wait, tell us more, Mr. Sholmes. What happened? What is going on? Pneumo ultra microscopic silica volcanoconiosis. No, I don't know that one. Hey fandom, how you doing? I believe I made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair. Oh, but... Okay, I'll tell you guys. The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course, I have no doubt. For now, however, it is Mr. Moustache who is most deserving of your attention, I believe. Okay, I guess we won't find out about that yet. Tea time. Imagine I drink this tea, then all of a sudden I just died like 30 minutes later. What would be the chances? Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues. That's the spirit, Runo. See you later. Ah, look at them two. Like daughter, like father, like daughter. Yes, until later. No, Mrs. Sholmes, we were thinking you'd come with us. You were? Yes, of course. You just said us so a moment ago. You said we witnessed your forensic talents in action. Ah, yes, I do recall saying something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later in all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, wait. The sounds were getting deeper. It was like, boing, boing, boing. Well, I might. Your commitment astounds me. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We'll eagerly await your arrival. It's been 3 weeks and he has yet to show. Bye, Runo. Bye, Susie. Imagine he never shows up and that's just it. Might as well check it out. Let's check out the hospital. We haven't been to the hospital in a while. Oh, there's our rat friend. There's our mousy friend. Everybody, say hello to Michael. I don't know why Michael. His name is Michael now. What do you suppose is happening? It sounds like some sort of disturbance. Yes, I hear angry voices. Oh, So we didn't notice these two until after we walked in? Be not angry, O ample lady. Verily, thou art mistaken. Mistaken, my foot, you were looking at my painting. The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. 'Twas foul indeed, the poison that moustache villain gaveth me, forgive me, lady. I wish that you died from that poison. Wow. God a mercy, ample lady, but thou seest, I have vigor still. Behold my sham spear dance. Is he Fortnite dancing in front of her? Pretty sure that's a Fortnite dance, I think, right? Everything's a dance in Fortnite. Oh, did I spill some tea? I spilled some tea. It hit my chair and not my thigh, thank goodness. I don't want to freaking burn. This looks rather ominous, doesn't it? It's like he's doing the curse dance. I curse you. I curse you. Oh, that's creepy. 'Tis the lawyer from the land whence riseth the sun. How now? What are you doing here, Mr. Shamspear? Mary, I do believe I am returned onto another world. He was looking, that's what he was doing, looking at my terrible work. Eastern fellow, so dark you're clad. Faith, you die working in court this morning, which wonderful, I do applaud thee. I don't know what voice is that, though. Oh, well, thank you. But, oh, he bent it. That doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you tomorrow, does it? He broke his Party City rod. He got that from Party City. I wish I got a Party City rod like that. Anon exunt. He said anon. He's anonymous. Oh. I wish I can disappear like that. Mr. Shamspear might technically be the victim in this case. But there's definitely a lot more to it than that. It's very hard to pin the man down. You took a really good screenshot of the scene? What's a really good screenshot? I'm so sorry. I'm such an awful person. Oh, Miss Green, is everything alright? Oh, yes, I mean, don't worry about me. But I worry. They're about to discharge me, so I must get ready to leave now. Oh, I see. We're delighted that you'll soon be well enough to go home, Miss Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. I don't deserve it. Oh, there's Michael the Rat. Can we say hello to Michael real? Oh, we already checked these things out. Just want to see. I guess we'll talk to her. So, are you feeling more like yourself today, Miss Green? I am. It was Susato saying this rather looks ominous, doesn't it? And Shamspear is in the middle of his dance, and it looks like he's T-posing. That is ominous indeed. If someone were T-posing around me, that is really ominous. I am, thank you. I mean, people do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? Even people like me. Well, yes, it really was an ordeal, wasn't it? As far as I was concerned, I was just walking along in the snow one evening, minding my own business. And then, completely out of the blue, I was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed unconscious for days. Of course, when I finally woke up again yesterday, the whole business had been cleared up already. What a terrible week it's been for you. Oh no, I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I'll look back on this fondly. Thought I heard something. Really? Anyway, I must be getting my things together now, so I'm ready to be discharged. Oh yes, of course. Sorry to take up your time when you're obviously busy. Aww, I feel so sorry for her. Like, I really hope Olive Green has like a happy ending in all this. I feel really sorry for her. She's like feeling bad for herself. She reminds me of me. I'm in the same way. Not as much today. I don't always feel bad for myself. Just 2% of just 98% every day. Ah, fish and chips boy. Oh, hello again, Gregsy. What are you doing here? Well, we were hoping to have another look around, actually. The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, I know the score. Oh, yes, one other thing. The soap on the ledge outside the window, did you find it? With the tea in it? Yeah, we found it all right. And there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it. It's with the identification section at the yard now. They're looking into it. They better not drink it. The results should be available later today. That's wonderful news, thank you. You know what would be funny? Every time that Gregson takes a bite out of the chips, or the fish and or chips, you just hear row, row, row. So I'm just talking, and in the background, you just hear row, row, row. Delicious. Had to shut down this tea. Pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? Nothing, forget it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything in here. I'll disturb you or oh. What the heck? This boy just pops in out of nowhere, like instant transmission. Pew! Just pops in out of nowhere. Mr. Sholmes, what are you up to over there? You silly old fool. What a question indeed. Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene? Oi, what are you doing here, Sholmes? What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Dear me, once a great detective, one is always under scrutiny, it seems. Is now the time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talents in action as you promised? With the greatest of pleasure, my dear madam. Oh boy, tea time. Oh, nice gogs. That's right, I call goggles gogs. Got a problem with that? What's all this? My gogs. Oh no, he's checking my vibes. All this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruhodo. And he's brought out the gun. Imagine just seeing this in front of you with the gun and everything. Sherlock Sholmes' sensational skin print seeker gun. Moments ago, I took a sample from the teacup that was used by the victim. A sample? Look at that gun, by the way. What is with that gun? Hold on a second. Hold on. I do wanna 4Kids this. So if the people who are not aware, in 4Kids, there is this thing where they have 4Kids edits a lot of scenes. 4Kids is a dubbing company that did anime like Pokemon, One Piece back in the day. But one of the scenes that is stuck in my mind is that 4Kids changed up a gun to look like some kind of hammer thingy. You will see in just a second what I mean. This is the picture in question. The original scene in this One Piece is supposed to be a gun. You can still see the handle, but what is that contraption they have? Just imagine if 4Kids did this. If 4Kids had this game, this is what it would be instead. Instead of a gun, it would be a bonking machine. I love that they kept the gun handle, not the bonking machine. So that's what it does. That's the bonking machine. It's like, imagine that in his hand. Just a bonking machine. Just gonna bonk the kid to death, I guess? Anyway, so gun. A sample from Mr. Shamspeare's cup? Each individual leaves microscopic secretions on everything he or she touches. A sample of those secretions is all I need to produce this, a refined indicator solution. By liberally spraying the room with this chemical, everything the victim touched is instantly revealed with the aid of these gogs. Here, try them on. Oh boy, gogs. There, now spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed. Spray? How do I do that exactly? A little press of A in the area you're interested in is all that required, like this. What is that stuff? It's like fog. A suspension of the chemical indicator in a pressurized gas is the most efficient way to cover a large area. That was another invention I discovered incidentally whilst I was developing this idea. As you do. Go ahead, try, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movements on the night in question. Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let's explore. And then, spray everywhere. Oh, I can't spray everywhere. I guess I can. Oh. I have to like stay still and then spray. Oh. I was hoping to like. I was hoping to like go around and spray like but apparently not. Look, there are dozens of handprints here. So there are a great many indeed. So much so that it's hard to make out any one individual print, in fact. It sends a chill down my spine. Perhaps he was leaning against the wall while he admired this picture? Unlikely, I would say. It's a rather dull scene after all. And without wishing to state the obvious, you wouldn't generally admire a picture from such close quarters, I feel. Oh, very true, Miss Sato. It's a bit of a mystery then. Let's keep spraying. This is actually very cool, by the way. Oh. There's some down there. What around here? Oh. The window. They're everywhere. The freaking spots are everywhere. That's insane. A little... Oh, wait. Where else could it be touching? Because there's some right there on the bottom left. Okay, it's not stopping, which means there's more spots he could have touched. Maybe on the box here? The stove. This here. Oh. Oh, I already checked this out. Huh. Right here on the box? Is there something else I'm supposed to be checking out? To be honest, I thought this would be it. Like, okay, I think I got everything. Every possible spot. Like, where else could it be? Because I tried the window. Like, more's not coming out, though. Because I already got the box. But yeah, like, there's some on the box right there. There's some weird spots he has been touching at. Up here? Down here. Down here. Down here. The candle? Is there a spot that I'm absolutely missing? Don't tell me I'm having a tough time spraying spray. Where else haven't I sprayed at? Look more towards the bottom. Oh. Wow. Apparently I'm bad at spraying things. I just found that out today. I'm horrible at spraying things. Oh, look at all this here. Ah, yeah, it's interesting. A multitude of the victim's handprint. Why are there so many of them on the floor in this one spot? Oh, perhaps he had a bad fall just here? There's nothing obvious that he would have tripped over, though. Is there? What about that open plank? I wonder. Personally, I often stumble when there's nothing obvious to trip over. I think that's something only a great detective would do, Mr. Sholmes. Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor. Yes, there's no obvious explanation. Unless we rip open the floor board by board. Wait, it looks so obvious now. Let's just remove it. Well, we sprayed the amazing skin print indicator all over this room, didn't we? We did, but there are 2 places in particular that are of interest, I would say. The obvious, the floor, And on the wall by the picture, you mean? So there's something under the floorboard and something behind the painting, right? We got some sus stuff going on. Yes, and I think the floor warrants closer investigation. I won't be a moment. I found the drugs! Susato is searching for the drugs. What is it, Miss Susato? She's found them. Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. One of the floorboards has popped out. One of the... You mean it's a secret hiding place? Excellent work, Miss Susato. So, what do we have in here? Oi, what are you lot doing? Gregsy, stand aside right this minute. It's... Love a meeting. No need, Inspector. You continue to dig into your portion of chips whilst we dig around under the floor here. Your fancy talk's putting me off my food anyway, Shrooms. A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need. Can I just have endless fish and chips but replace the fish with chicken strips? Endless chicken strips doesn't sound bad. Wow, a secret hiding place under the floor. What a find. It's not a hiding place you can make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw tatami mat. No, I know, but I never expected one of these wooden floorboards to move either. It's got me wondering about the wall over there too. Aren't you curious? Oh. I'll investigate at once. She rips off the wall. Imagine she falls in Mario 64 style. Let's go. It's a Mario 64 level. There's nothing behind the picture, sadly, only the wall. How disappointing. But then, how do you explain the handprint? I really can't think why anyone would have been touching the wall over and over in one place like that. Oh! That was bright! There you are, a print for you. Oh, cool. Does he keep a printer inside his pants? Oh, thank you very much. His invention can make prints too? It comes out the gun. It does freaking gas and it prints out the gun too. My gun is also a printer. Now then, I wonder if Inspector Gregsy has found anything under the floor there. I'm desperate to know. I'm desperate. So am I. So will we ever find out? Yes, I guess we gotta check with him then. Inspector Greggs. I'd love to know if there's anything hidden underneath the floorboard there. Allow me to go ask Gregsy now. After all, we're well acquainted. Inspector Gregson, really, it's been too long. What is it, Sholmes? I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there, seeing as we're such good friends. We're not friends. Ugh. Oh. No, I suppose not. Aww. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. I'd kill to know what was under that floorboard. I'd kill Gregson right now. Well? Alright then, fair's fair. What? You did discover the hiding place after all. I suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you! Do it quickly, my dear fellow. If there's one thing I know about this man, it's that he blows with the wind as fickle as the weather. Boy, stop making me out to be some kind of nut. There were 3 items under the floor there. A newspaper clip and a photographic print and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know? I want to know all 3. Let's start with the clipping. Looks like this was cut out of the paper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester. How terrible. It made the headlines down here in London as well. The bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got him first. Oh my goodness, he committed a capital offense? Man by the name of Selden, nasty piece of work into burglaries and murder. They said the hoard he knocked off was worth about 1,000 pounds. A hoard of treasure, you mean? Jewelry and the like, but he hidden it somewhere, and no one knows where. It's in the tin box. The papers loved it, of course. 1,000 pounds lost en route to hell, or some such was the headline. Does it not strike you, though? Why such an article would be so carefully and ensconced under the floor? I suppose, and now you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go over the paperwork we've got on Selden back at the yard and see if I can turn anything up. Alright, cool. So, about Selden who died. What if Shamspear is Selden just faked his own death? So, this is the photograph I found. Looks reasonably recent to me. Wait a minute. They look familiar. It's Moon Man and Happy Boy. Yes, it would appear to have been taken on the street in front of the house here. And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garrideb, the landlord, of course. I don't think you can fake your own death in prison. You want to bet? I will go to prison, and then we will see what will happen. I will be back next century, because I'm pretty sure if I go to jail, it's going to be for a century at least, for a lifetime. You just gotta wait for my lifetime to be over, then wait for my next lifetime. But who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garrideb's son, perhaps? He looks similar to the guy who sells hats, like the hat seller, but maybe he's not. Perhaps you can take that print if you like. Really, are you sure? We can presume, therefore, that the yard already knows. The identity of the young fellow, that is. Ah, is that true? Well, it's too bad if we do. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking info isn't one of my pastimes. My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out. Pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work. All the more reason I'm not telling ya. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. Alright, so we got the photograph. Look at this photograph. It makes me want to laugh. Oh, I thought I can look around it. Let's see. Condemned criminal dies of natural causes in prison. Manchester Strangeway Prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He had been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Wow, what a way to go. I wonder why a photograph like this was hidden under the floor. I mean, Mr. Shamspear himself isn't in it. Photographic prints are still rare treasures in the East End. I imagine Mr. Garrideb was rather delighted to have been immortalized. He probably made a proud present of it. Alright, box time. This contained these Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right? Now this tin box looks interesting, doesn't it? Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If you were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be in the least surprised. Yeah, funnily enough, I've already had a look. It's completely empty. What? Shamspear, give us a clue, man! You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Naruhodo. But anyway, at least we found out what's inside the box. Nothing. Yes, thin air. It's empty, rather like how I feel inside. Is there nothing more to this box then? I wonder. Oh man, I feel as empty as a box. Now I get the meaning. Meow. Hey, look who arrived. It's a kitty. Aww. Oh, look, it's that lovely little kitty cat. What was its name? It's Mr. Natsume's, isn't it? I don't think we've ever asked him, actually. Why don't we call it, Wagahai? You know, like Mr. Natsume refers to himself in Japanese? I wonder how he got in here. Clever cat. Aww, I love the little bow tie he has on. Look at that distinguished gentleman right there. Distinguished gentlemen. Oh, wonderful. Well then, Wagahai, here's something delicious I bought for you from the cat's meat man. Aww. Aww. That's freaking adorable. Aww. He's still on the floor. He couldn't be happier now, look. I just hope we can bring some happiness to his owner, too. He's still on the floor. Oh. Is he making biscuits over there? He's making biscuits over there. He just got up and did some biscuits. Aww. Cat cam. That was a cheeky little meow, Wagahai. Aww. Oh, he's so adorable. Oh, am I blocking Wagahai? I could sit and watch him forever. I think he may not appreciate that after a while. And we have an investigation to get back to. Oh, that was worth checking out. So, shall we check this stuff again? The ill-fated teacups from which the two men drank on the ill-fated night. During their I am now the cat. During their heated literary debate, yes. Who's stronger, Romeo or Juliet? It sounds like it was quite a discussion. Now I think of it, I'm sure that the two lovers in the play ended their lives with poison. That's fiction, Miss Usato. Let's hope it stays that way. No more poison talk. If you ran out of change, you wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat. For the needy Londons, winters can be very harsh. That's true, but if you think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change. London's winters can be very harsh for the forgetful too then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Susato-san and I are going to make it to spring. That's true. We don't even have a meter at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove. How is she reading my thoughts? Is she a mind reader? Look how dark the stain on the floor is underneath the meter there. Yes, from all the water dripping out after the ice coins melted as you established in court this morning. It's a very large and obvious stain, isn't it? Mr. Shamspeare must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose. It was an ingenious idea, I'll give him that. I mean, really, that is smart. You're really scamming a company right there, using ice for money. Like, that is freaking smart. Illegal, but smart. The sun never shines in this room thanks to that depressing bricked up window. Yeah, with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks that set some soap outside, can't you? You have a feeling blue text might be whispered, not thought, since characters seem to react to those lines. But the thing is, always in the other games, they've always been thoughts, I think, maybe. So, are you just thinking it's like, I think I did this because of blue text. I'm blue text now. This is blue text. This is white text. This is blue text. And I'm red text. That sounds like a very wise life lesson, Miss Usato. Only if you plan to follow a life of crime, Mr. Naruhodo. Crime? I love crime. Crime time is my favorite crime. Crime time's my favorite time of the day. Let's go commit crime. Alright, let's see. Briar Road? Anything going on at Briar Road? Funny enough, I have a friend named Briar. She's lovely. Nothing. Fantastic. Let's go check the Gyarados. Mr. Moonman and his wife. Mr. Gyarados appears to be out. He can leave? Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Alright, I guess we'll come back later. Prison. Let's go to prison. Let's get locked up. Hey, Mr. Natsume, can you turn around, show us your pearly whites? Oh, Mr. Natsume is back. Like he left? So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello? You know what would be funny if he turned around and ran to the cell doors like, I am a cat. Finally, he reveals that he's a furry this whole time. It took him forever, but now we got a confession. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is or Sherlock Sholmes. I don't know about courts or trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat. Mr. Naruhodo, he's trying to escape from reality. Trying to? He already has. Completely. So, what is your name then? As yet, I have no name. Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality. Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? Meow. He did it. I'm proud of him. I am not a cat. Shocker. It worked. He's back in the real world. What's going to become of me? No. Don't answer that. It's obvious. My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate. Mr. Natsume, no. This morning's proceedings in court prove that there's hope. Dan, can you stop joining at weird times? What the heck, man? Yes, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but... The Reaper is omnipresent in court, in my lodgings. Here, there, everywhere. What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss? Oh, yes, we must. Alright, let's go talk about why you were thinking about being a cat and all that. I mean, imagine seeing somebody in jail and they're like, meow. I mean, if someone you know just thought about being a cat, is that a good thing or what though? In my whole life, have I ever been so moved as I was today? No. Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps 1 or 2 other occasions that moved me more. But if I just blocked those out, then today, being in that courtroom was... It was the most moving experience of my life, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You're too kind. Scotland Yard found the remaining tea just as we could deduce and are analyzing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find a drop of poison in it. That's a solemn sworn Soseki certainty. See, certainty. Stop dabbing. Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. And at the time, you were both completely fine, as shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamspirit didn't engage in the Romeo and Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim then. That rotten Shamspir, what have I ever done to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything at all. Right. But what I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner. Let you know what, Mr. Natsume? About the soap, of course. What else? Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am. If I had money, I wouldn't have chosen to live an accursed existence in such accursed lodgings. Oh yes, you said it's because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly, especially the room that I rent. The spirit of that capital offender who lived there still haunts the place, and is trying to kill me. Capital offender? Oh, might I ask locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire that the next time you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps. He's trying to make ice coins for himself too. Understandable. You gotta take those companies down. That is what society is. What's this? It's a newspaper cutting that we found in Mr. Shamspir's room. Ah, so he knew, did he? Sorry? About this man, Selden, a convicted killer, and the evil spirit behind the curse that afflicts my lodgings. What? He's already taken one young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another. A miserable mustache, much maligned. Maligned? Maligned? Yeah, maligned. Much maligned Japanese man. Mr. Natsume, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you can about this evil spirit. Everything. Everything! Hey, Staggy, how you doing? Hope you've been well. It has been forever. But like I said, come by anytime. I'm not gonna be like, Stag, you were this much and this long. Wait, you were gone this long. What is going on? Because of you, the baby is never being free. The baby will be stuck in the package forever because of you. The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now. And at the time, he was hiding out in lodgings at Mr. Garredip's house. What? He lived where you do now? That's right, yes, exactly where I live now. In my very room. Oh my, your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of a capital offense? But before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started. The curse. What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume? It's already caused one death a few months after the criminal passed away in prison. A man died in the room. The man who rented it after Selden, in fact. The poor lodger. He was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside. Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So that's the convict's curse, is it? Yes, well, that was the start of it. Oh man, we're getting somewhere now. The curse. Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mrs. Natsume? The official cause of death was asphyxia. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas. Oh. Jeez, what a way to go. Gas? I only found that out after I signed the lease. When Mr. Garrett came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself trembling. In fact, if I'd known it beforehand, I probably have been too scared to take the room. Landlord's lease, luckily legal. You gotta love landlords and their leases, am I right? I'm stuck in here for a year at least. Back in my old place, it was a month-by-month lease, but I didn't like the place that much, so I moved, and now this one's I'm locked in for a year, so... Who knows where I'll be next year? Next year, I'm just in a box. Coming to you live from a box. Lucky for Mr. Garrett, maybe, but not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsume. And now you believe this curse is affecting you. It is, at first. I just felt as though I was being watched all the time. And then you talked about having nightmares, didn't you? The dead are trying to take me with them. They come for me and try to suffocate me. Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up. And the room is as cold as ice. Well, why is your room so cold? London winters are too cold to bear without any heating on overnight. But for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb into bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. But that's terrible. That's exactly the same situation as what led to the previous occupant's death. And then there's what happened to Mr. Shamspear last night, when he was mysteriously poisoned. There's clearly more to that incident that can be explained by a curse, though. Whatever can be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Garredip's rooms? This is getting really strange. Now, gas? That stinks, so imagine the only way to stay warm is by lighting up your stove. The pilot light goes out, and then when you wake up, gas. That's disgusting. By the way, I got a question for everybody. Do you like the circle, though? What do you think about the circle? Actually, I like it much better, especially with, like, the animated border on the outside, so it separates me from the game, so it's kind of popping out. You like the circ? I'm glad you like the circ. The circ is good. Ah, here we go. We can go back to the Garredip's now. I like the new hint system. It's like, oh, we haven't been here in a while. Instead of going to every single place, I'm like, thank you, Susato. Isn't she great? Ah, in his chair. Ah, you're here now, Mr. Garradeb. I've always been here. I've been hiding the whole time. Right Valley business it is for me, you know. Getting out and about. Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance? The circle looks really nice. Thank you, Staggy. By the way, how has, you're doing college stuff, right? How's college going? Stevie, same with you. You're both doing college stuff, right? You're both college students. Oh man, I'm getting too old now. Naturally, fate of my lodgings hanging in the balance and all that, not a trial to miss. The fate of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes. Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. Dang, you're graduating soon? Dang, I think I got gray hair then. Dang, every time I talk to people about how they're doing, they're like, by the way, I'm in college, I'm graduating. But dang, you're graduating in 4 months. Nice going, Stag. Soon you'll be entering the workforce, and then soon you'll take up your class assignment. My class assignment was to be a sloth. That's my job. My job is to be sloth. By the way, chat, so before we continue the game, I wanted to talk about something. I've always thought about changing my username. I'm not gonna change it, but I've always thought, like, if I could change it, it would have to be something original that nobody has ever taken, right? And that's really rare nowadays because most of the good usernames are taken. For one username that I thought up was Sloth Armor. Ah yes, welcome to the channel of Sloth Armor. I'm literally wearing sloth armor. But I'll stick with the name I got now. Because it's been my name for years, why not? Either that or I go back to my old username, Shadow Elliott. I mean, that username is still there. I could go back to Shadow Elliott, but the old videos, if I took that username, people will be expecting the older videos and not the videos I make now, so it's a whole different thing. Let's see, you're about to be done with the semester in a couple of weeks, a few more assignments. Oh man, Stag, I'm very sorry that you lost someone. May that person rest in peace. And I hope that this stream helps you out even just a little bit. But of course, I'm sure that person will want you to continue. What's the point of stopping everything right there? Keep moving forward. And best of luck though. May you break as many legs as you can, except mine. As the old haunted lodgings are some such. Ah, well at least he knows. Makes you wonder what the blazes is going on, don't you know? Yes, I'm sure it does. In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsume's other trial just 2 days ago, you were at the Old Bailey den as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what happened. Stopped off at prison on the way home, in fact. Beastly business. I see. Where'd that teacup go? That teacup just disappeared. So what brings you to my haunted abode today, eh? Oh, I just wanted to talk, spill some tea and whatnot. Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have become something of a magnet for rum fellows of late. Thanks to that bally curse. The convict's curse, you mean? Ah, heard the stories, have you? Rotten scoundrel was arrested here, then the next chap in the room goes and kills over. Then there was that woman who dropped dead just outside on the street, not to mention the actor yesterday. Am I next, eh? Well, can't help but get the collie wobbles, can ya? Collie wobbles? Anybody else got the collie wobbles? I got the collie wobbles! When you say the woman who dropped dead outside in the street, do you mean Miss Green? Because Miss Green, who was stabbed by the knife, and Mr. Shamspear, who was poisoned last night, are both very much alive still. Yes, well, so was that blasted convict's curse, it seems. Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, a fascinating history. Why? It sounds like the lap of luxury. I'm not so sure about that. Well, There's no bath or toilet included, and no fireplace either. What? No bath? No... Ew! What do you do your business? Oh goodness, that's disgusting. But you do look after your tenants, don't you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up here. Yes, never hurts to keep an eye on things, in case there are any mishaps or such like. I think you've had your mishap already, sir. That's not helpful, Mr. Sholmes. Heaven forgive me, the words just came to my lips. What a weird place. Imagine not having a toilet or a bathtub. So what, does Natsume just buy water bottles and take baths in his room using bottled water? Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor of questionable character. There's no need for that, Mr. Garradeb. That's right. Mr. Natsume is in no way fishy. He is undeniably peculiar, however. Is it right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away? Yes, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone and he popped up the very same day. Never come across a chap so keen for a place with a background, as it were. I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on so much as the cheap rent, actually. So, how long has Mr. Shamspear been lodging under your roof? That failed actor chap? Let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been 3 months now, quite sure of it. Only 3 months? He's quite new here too, then. And to what do you owe your certainty in that regard, Mr. Garradeb, if I might ask? Well, it was that Selden scoundrel as it happens. Selden? The convict, you mean? Do Selden and Shamspear have some kind of connection, then? Do they? Shamspear is becoming a bit more, sus. That convict chap, Selden, passed away in the clink 3 months ago now, you see. Some malady or other. Yes, we've seen the report from the newspaper at the time. Well, it was only 3 days later that the tragedian showed his face, the actor fellow. Really? Yes, I remember it quite distinctly. 'Tis small, this world we inhabit. Prithee, landlord, hear my request. I, the humble Shamspear, do desire to take thy room on the middle floor offered ere a while for rent. Terribly sorry and whatnot, but that won't be possible. Already have a lodger on the middle floor. Ground floor room's vacant, though. Nothing can be made out of nothing. Let me repeat mine will unto thee. Those curls must be muffling your ears. The room on the middle floor is taken. It's ground floor and nothing. It's nerf or nothing. Very well, we have an accord. Glad to hear it. Welcome to Briar Road. Lower Shamspear dance to celebrate. And then the whole... So imagine there's no music. You just hear him go doom, 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 doom. He's just hopping on a wooden floor. You just hear nothing but loud stomping. From what I heard in court today, sounds like the chap was Stephen Gass. And he was 3 months in arrears with the rent too. Yes, the fellow was a bally player, alright. Thank you for your candor, Mr. Garradeb. We are most grateful. By way of appreciation, allow me to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe, put on my crown. What is that pose? Meow. I have immortal lodgings in me. What's happened to you? Shakespeare, my dear fellow, one of his most famous lines. I wish to divulge my own learning of the subject, for I have a turn for literature too, you know. Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines then? He really just did a cat girl pose and everything. He's just missing a yeah. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Oh, there must be more to check out then. Oh yeah, the photograph. Mr. Garradeb, can I ask you to look at this photograph? Who's this boy? Is that your son who's with you there? Wait, he's also a painter. Could he know Olive Green by any chance? No, no, not at all. He was a lodger here once. Duncan Ross was his name. Duncan Ross. Duncan Ross. Does that have a Duncan Ross? Duncan Ross. Like Duncan Ross. Like, I'm trying to figure out what his name means. A street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shot. Just for kicks, really. Was he by any chance the lodger before Miss Natsume? Yes, that's right. Ah, the young gentleman who died in the room in mysterious circumstances. Just what Mr. Moustache was waiting for, one might say. Yes, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the first flight of stairs before that Japanese chap. Would you mind telling us a little more about him? About Mr. Duncan Ross? Yes, Duncan Ross, young chap, was attending art school. Had to work to pay for it, mind. Moved into the middle floor room about a year ago after that criminal Selden was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them. A history of cheap rent, maybe? Yes. Yes, well, anyway, it was one morning about a month ago now. Hadn't quite worked out the old trick of watching the gas lamps to see what my lodgers are up to at the time. So sadly, I was rather tardy to discover what had happened. Smell of gas that alerted me it was. Ah, yes. Synonymous with the smell of death. Called the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door off its hinges. But once we got inside, we all badly collapsed. Because of the gas? Yes, room was full of it, no air at all. Stove must have gone out while the poor chap was sleeping in his bed. So Mr. Ross suffocated to death? Of course, the police gave me a sound ticking off because the gas pipes were so old and all that. Can't tell you how much it set me back to have the lot replaced all over the house. But even after you had all that work done, Mr. Natsume says the same thing. That the stove goes out at night whilst he's asleep in bed. Well, that's the Bali curse, the convict's curse. I've done my duty as a landlord now. Someone's feeling defensive. Landlords, am I right? Ah, that reminded me, actually. Yes? About young Duncan, the night before the poor chap perished. He'd been writing a letter of affection to a young lady. A love letter, you mean? Oh, maybe to Miss Green? Yes, where did I put it now? I read it to myself every day and pretend I'm the lady he wrote it for. Ah, here it is, left it on my desk. If you'll excuse me, let me see now, what does it say? To my most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Do you think that we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence? My dear Mususato, that is precisely why I preface my reading with, if you'll excuse me. I will not excuse you, Mr. Sholmes. No. Sadly, he didn't address it, though. So I have no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really. I see. That's gonna play on my mind. But really, the identity of Mr. Ross's sweetheart has no bearing on the case. I think we should leave well alone. Yes, I suppose you're right. Indeed, the intended recipient's address is missing. However, there is a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Mr. Sholmes, please, I've already had to chastise you about this once. My undying love to you, my colorful darling, Olive Green. I knew it. Olive Green? The woman who was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside this house 5 days ago? The victim of the last case Soseki-san was in court for, who regained consciousness only yesterday. Is it just chance that her name has come up now? Could it be a mere coincidence? Mr. Naruhodo, whatever can this mean? Reading personal correspondence can have its merits, you see, Mr. Sato? Oh man, it's all coming together now. Oh, I'm glad we stayed out of space just to leave. To the hospital. Miss Gween? Miss Gween? Oh look, it's Michael the rat. Say hello to Michael. Yeah, we're really gonna just pass by Michael without saying howdy? Mr. Naruhodo, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last. This is good news, but hopefully, just before she leave... Ah, what is it? She's crying? Miss Green! Oh. What was that? She clearly just hit something behind her back. One moment, I'll be with you in a jiffy. What is going on? Oh, hello everyone. What are you all doing here? The doctor has said I can be discharged, so I'm just getting my things together. Was she about to game over herself? Was she about... No. Don't tell me she was about to do that. No freaking way. Miss Green, what were you just doing? Oh, nothing really. I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed for me, that's all. Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you if that's alright. I don't really have anything else to tell you. Alright, she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can coax her or something out of her. Let's try with that photograph. Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Ross. You knew him, didn't you? Oh! Oh, the bottle! Oh. Oh no, I'm so sorry. The bottle of medicine fell down when she did. Oh, Miss Green, are you alright? Huh, I wonder what this is. Just one little sip. Oh wait, I hope Michael the rat doesn't drink it and then dies from it. I really hope that's not the case. I don't want the rat to die. He's just there vibing. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you like that. No, it's alright. I just wasn't expecting it. But how do you know about Duncan? Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter to you. It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan a year ago now. He was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day. And the two of you became romantically involved? Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually. That's why he decided to move into a cheaper room to save money for the wedding. And that's what led him to Mr. Garadeb's. Yes, he told me you found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then 1 month ago, that's when it happened. We're so terribly sorry, Miss Green. Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose. Poor Miss Green. She looks desperately sad. I was starting to think that that's just her look. But now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her. Aww. Well, hold on. Let's examine that stuff. The bottle fell off before Miss Green collapsed. That was quite an earthquake. Whatever was in the bottle. Honey, maybe? Or a treacle? What's treacle? Or treacle? Treacle. A thick, sticky, dark syrup made from sugar. So, syrup, honey, or dark honey, or syrup, or all three mixed together even. Mr. Naruhodo, you've been having a lot of very mean thoughts during this exchange. I'm disappointed in you. Trico? Not the Pokemon. We don't drink Pokemon here. Or do we? Can you drink a Ditto? Sorry. Oh wait, I want to know what's in the bottle. What's in the bottle? This is the card that Miss Green was looking at so intently before, isn't it? Mr. Naruhodo, we shouldn't be peeking at a young woman's private effects. Right, I should say peeking for gentleman effects only. You mustn't do that either. And maybe you, Mr. Sato, shouldn't be peeking into a young man's mind either, So she is reading my thoughts. This proves it right here. Peeking into a young man's mind. So it's thoughts, not whispers. She's reading my flippin' thoughts. It's wonderful news that you're gonna be discharged, Miss Green. Oh yes, I mean, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering and wasting space. Not people like me, anyway. So I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. I shouldn't stand around and chat. She certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk, that's for sure. Oh, dang. I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon. Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up. Of course, we'll be on our way. Mr. Naruhodo! Oh. Nice entrance, my man. Surely you were not about to leave. That's quite out of the Oh! I just saw that right now. What the flip? The rat's dead. Not Michael. I grew attached to that rat. Is this what happened to freaking Gary's Raticate in Pokemon Red and Blue? It's the same thing that happened to Raticate. That's what happened to Raticate back then. Surely you are not about to leave? That's quite out of the question. What? Mr. Sholmes, I didn't realize you were here. But of course I was, my dear fellow. Watching intently from the shadows as always. Well, make your presence known next time. Mr. Sholmes, what's this about? Something which occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Sato, is this. Why do detectives insist on such an ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened, instead of preventing a case before it happens? That is what sets a great detective apart. What do you mean? There was a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruhodo. So let us avert disaster. Let us prevent this case from ever happening, with nothing but careful observation. Alright. All the clues you need are set before you. You need only look and you cannot fail to see. Is it because of Mr. Naruhodo that we're about to avoid a, You can do it, Mr. Naruhodo. I know you can. If we left, I'm pretty sure she would have just stopped. She would have just drank this. That mouse seems to be dead. Look. I didn't notice it there before, did you? I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spilled out of the bottle. But that's the bottle that Miss Green was about to drink from when we arrived. You don't think? Ah, I see you've come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. That of a tragedy about to take place. Yes, I think it's falling into place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before has spilled out on the floor, and the poor mouse that drank it has sadly died. I have to say, Pixel Dog, that couldn't have come at a worse timing, especially where we are now. Wow. Hello, though. I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Don't worry, I will attend to the mouse presently. It's dead. She just picks it up. What can I do with this? Miss Green, were you intending to go the same way as that rodent? To take your own life? Once we left, you would have put it to your lips again, wouldn't you? And taken the poison? No! Miss Green, please talk to us. Oh, dang. Nothing particular of no. I want to see the note. It definitely feels as though this card must be relevant. I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it in her hand in what can only be described as a very tense atmosphere. Yes, it may very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Sholmes believes was about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it? Oh, man. Oh, wow, the word just comes out right there. Great. 10 seconds later and we would have arrived at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green. Ow. Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted. Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine? Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while, so I snuck this out when he wasn't looking. It conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains. I'm afraid I don't really know, but I thought if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow. Oh, please, Miss Green, don't talk of such things. Well, it seems clear now that it contains poison. Yes, that poor little mouse is proof of that. Oh no, oh, it's all my fault. What have I done? I shall remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection? No, none. Neither the sender's name or address appears to be written on the envelope or the card. It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in hospital here. I have info regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Oh, come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Wait a minute. The 17th of this month? That's the day you were stabbed on Briar Road. And 5 p.m. is precisely the time when the incident occurred. Oh dang, the Slug and Salad, yes. A pub on the northern corner at Briar Road. Briar Road being the street that Mr. Gareth's house is on. Does this mean that... Yes, I'm sure you've guessed. That day when I was struck in the back by the knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad. Goodness. So that's what you were doing on Briar Road that day. I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. Dang, poor Miss Green. She lost somebody, tried to drink poison, tried to get info, and got stabbed. Doesn't this woman's life ever go right? Ugh. I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything. Yes, I'm very sorry to have had to drag up such painful memories for you. No, it's fine. Miss Green. Please, promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend has the bottle now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison, and I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. It might sound a little conceited, but, well, that's how all this has made me feel. I feel so sorry for her. Leaving Miss Green in the same parts behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. Are we gonna go to the oh, it's night. Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigation trail for today. Yes, it's late. And Miss Naruhodo, did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think? Details about Mr. Shamspear, Mr. Gareth's lodgings, the convict Selden. There are many facets to this case, and we're yet to see the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling anyway. I can't help wondering about the results of the analysis. Into Natsume's tea, you mean? Yes, will they have found strychnine in it or not? Well, I fear that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend Mr. Reaper. Oh dear. Yes, Barak von Zeeks. But I wish you every success, of course, and though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend the trial. Mr. Sholmes, you're going to come? Indeed, whatever happens, I shall be there. Assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning. Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Miss Natsume's cause until the very end. Oh boy, who's ready for court tomorrow? London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people. But away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys, and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. So Seki-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here. And so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow will be a new dawn for all of us. Yay! To be continued. Not next time. We're gonna deal with this pretty soon. We're gonna deal with this tonight. Imagine I just end everything here. Would that be funny or what? But of course, I'm gonna take a small break, and I will be right back in a couple of minutes. Use this time to chill, to relax, and listen to some music while I use the restroom. I will be right back. Hopefully this music is loud enough. There we go. Be right back. Hey, hope you've all been waiting patiently. We are back with more Great Ace Attorney who's ready to continue with the trial. We found out about some crazy things. I was just doing my usual things. I was in the bathroom, washing my face, and realized, wow, the water's cold. Alright, let's do it. Back at the old Bailey. Oh wait, the music's still playing, isn't it? Whoops! Turn off that music. You don't want to hear Kirby music in the middle of all this going on. Or do you? Oh my goodness, it's space. Wait, let's zoom in further. Further. Is he pretending to be a cat? This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that has been plaguing Mrs. Natsume, to everything. And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you. I always appreciate your help, Mr. Sato. Suffering Soseki selfishly sidelined. Ah. Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. Good morning. Good morning, welcome student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Listen to you two chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here. Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear, we didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly, you were meditating, finding inner calm. It seemed wrong to disturb you. I was waiting. What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally, that's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own death. Or such like. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. I missed the signs, I'm afraid. Somehow, you'll have to forgive me. And you mustn't talk of your path leading you to death, Mr. Natsume. By the way, chat. So I want to show you all before I publicly reveal the cosplay edition I just got. So, to those who don't know, at conventions I do cosplay. I cosplay as Mugman from Cuphead, from the popular game Mugman. And I cosplay as the Blue Shell from Mario Kart. And usually with the Blue Shell cosplay, I wear a blue suit, a blue shell hat. I got a little Blue Shell plush that I throw at people. But, you know how the Blue Shell has wings, right? The hat has wings, but I've always been thinking, you know, to complete the outfit, why don't I wear wings? So, to show all of you, before I publicly reveal it, I got wings. Wings! There you go, you got your wings. Yep, now I got those wings that you just put around your arms like that. So now every time I walk around, I can go like this. Just have my arms splayed open and have the wings show up. So now I can be a true winged demon right there. So it's basically cardboard wings with feathers glued onto them, because the feathers do shed. So I'm gonna find it funny that throughout the convention, I'm gonna end up with less and less feathers. So hopefully if people want to take pictures of me at the con, hopefully the wings aren't shedding that much. But they look fun though, they look fun to wear, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a fun time next week. Alright, let's continue with the game. And you mustn't talk of your path leading you to death, Mr. Natsume. That was just an example. Oh yes, there it is, inner calm. You barely came to see me at all yesterday. I was sure you abandoned me and returned to our beautiful long-lost homeland. We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet. Yes, well, anyway, I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. I've actually reached an important decision myself. Oh? What sort of decision? I shall fill you in after the trial. Alright. It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits. It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again. The great detective, my arch nemesis. Long may he stay away if you ask me. Defendant and your legal representative. The trial's about to begin. Make your way into the courtroom immediately. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering what the stream schedule is going to be like until I go away on Wednesday, I am going to be streaming Saturday, Sunday, maybe Monday, but most likely Tuesday when my buddy Nathan gets over here. We're definitely going to do a stream. Hey, it works. Nice. I just find it funny how that thing works. It's great. Today, once again, we face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki-san's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client and keep fighting to the very end. That's all. By the way, can you all hear the sound when I get hit, though? I'm glad it works. I just wonder if there's sound, because right now I have no way of hearing it. Unless... every time. I love how fast it is. It's just funny. I think there is a way if I can play it off my TV, because I don't have speakers. I don't have speakers, unfortunately, so if I can route the sound to my TV so it comes out the TV, I think it can do that. Hold on, let me try something. I'm gonna try it. I am gonna try that. I want to see if it happens. I'm gonna route the sound to my TV and see what happens. I need to put this on my TV. Now try something. So much throwing. I don't know if it's coming out from my TV. Usually the sound should be coming... oh wait, maybe I have to change the output. Or maybe not. Apparently, I'm not hearing the sound, so... you know what? Okay, I get it. I get it, guys. I get it. It's not coming out from my TV, so that's the unfortunate thing. Maybe I'll have to fix that another time. But for now, let's do it. Enough about that. Hope you have fun with that. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Vampire. The prosecution is ready. Bleh. Yes, the defense is ready. Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? Absolutely. Justice will be done. You mark my words. I feel obliged to say I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right. Oh, well, I wonder if you can adjust my hat for me. And please be as ruthless as you like. You sure that isn't the guy right there? He's got his face and everything, but the eyebrows are not the same. Not the same guy, then. Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me, especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for the man at all. Look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I got my own problems. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict again today. Now, Lord Von Zieks, what can you tell us? What can you tell us? The prosecution's report, please, for the court. In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea. That spilled tea? So he does have the results. Oh, he's pouring it. How many chalices will die today? Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the blackguard in the dock. Pray, allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. And there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in a little depression on top of it. Yes, that's the tea! That's what spilled, sis! That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him that night. Well, the brains at the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right. It was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it. No poison at all, just tea. In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear. What a revelation. The tea is not bad. As I sussed. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume... Oh. My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction. What? Yes, it's true no poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But, what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty? My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel. 1. Exactly. 1! Unfit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shamspeare, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand. He does it with such flourish. Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's request. Mr. Shamspeare. Yes, it sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend. Bailiff, show Mr. Shamspeare to the stand. Ooh. Ooh. Mr. William Shamspeare, the victim of this despicable crime. Ooh. Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a belly full of the foul fluid given in mine innocence. Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe. By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company, yes. One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a room full of the sweet fuel given. That's right, your fellow jurors, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief. I haven't forgotten. He kept all that in the kept all that about the ice coins a tidy secret, didn't you? You should have owned up sooner. Arrest him, I say, arrest him at once, and let him feel the sting in my tail. She means she's gonna stab him with the umbrella. Oh, indeed, by dint of violent, cowardly means have I plotted to further mine own ends, I confess. Thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I am sure. If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here? Cowards die many times before their deaths, and for a coward such as I, death be well deserved. But would it that a still greater crime passeth unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me.
Objection!
But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that. What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamspeare? Verily, my liege, I will most gladly speak. Oh boy. What kind of lies will we hear this time? Let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. Tell the court what it is that poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea. Spill it. Alright, let's do it. The tea consistency. The inconsistency. No, that's bad. That's real bad. Sorry about that. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. It wasn't my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, near did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus 'tis no surprise that poison be not found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap. Inconsistent tea. Oh my goodness. Thank you. The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered in my experience. Quite. Otherwise it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance. But no poison bottle was found at the scene. Because, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. I knew that. By now, it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands. Sirs and madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspear, be a common thief of gas. But what? Listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, he changed his tone really quickly. Listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause. I have naught to lose. Well, I do declare. They both love him now. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Oh boy. What lies will I find this time? Let's do it. The inconsistent tea. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. I understand that you were already acquainted with Mrs. Natsume, is that correct? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Do I know thee, or know thee not? Methinks 'tis all I can know, that thy destiny mingles with mine. You lost me at the first thee. Sound, sir. Thou must learn the English tongue afore thou turns thy hands to lawyering. I did, but I must have missed the archaic Elizabethan lecture. Archaic Elizabethan lecture. Verily and in truth, 'twas a fine flavored brew. Though a drop of poison did barb its sweetness, as the thorn doth barb the sweet rose. That, dear friend, be the simple truth. Listen to Mr. Shamspear, he seems in even better form than he was yesterday. Either that or I'm in worse form. That fated evening after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery, a local alehouse of good report, naught did pass my lips but the tainted black tea. But behold, the poison was not in the tea at first. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Are you saying that you saw the moment when the poison was added to your tea? To have witnessed the act and then drank the tea? Thou dost describe the actions of a fool. Quite so, quite so. But no one likes going thirsty, do they? So I realized that every time he bends that thing, his tone changes. No one likes going thirsty. Who likes going thirsty? Sooner would I die quenched and parched. Would I have the choice? Actually, on the night in question, the water main was frozen, I believe, wasn't it? Were it not for the tea, in sooth I would sooner have died frozen than quenched or parched. Right, no ice coins mean no heating. The witness had more than one brush with death on the night in question, it would seem. Remind the court, Mr. Shamspear, as to whether the accused drank any of the tea which he brought with him. Oh, by the way, Shamspear is always sus. His name is Susspear. Shamshush. Shashir. Susspear. There we go. William Susspear. With the greatest of pleasure, my liege. William Susspear. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, near did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. But the teacup Mr. Natsume drank from was found completely empty at the scene. And let's not forget the defendant's maxim, drink tea while it's hot. Drink it, drop it like it's hot, drink it like it's hot. I did go from the poison cup that night, and in mine agony did I writhe uncontrolled. In fits of pain, I did knock the fellow's cup and its contents spill as blood from a gaping wound, methinks. Though certainly 'twas after I made the coins of ice from his tea. Enough said cup was found on the table that the victim was slumped over. There is no contradiction here. It's true, there was no tea left in either cup that we found at the scene. But still, something about this statement is troubling me. Yes, of course, I know what it is. It's Mr. Natsume's wise drink tea while it's hot maxim, isn't it? No, I am not sure that's it. Thank you, witness. Now reiterate for the court what it is that occupied you after your guests have left and before you drank your tea. So is that statement sus? When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in this cup to make my coins of ice. Near did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. There is no tea ring on the inside of Mr. Natsume's cup. But it's like, so this is Mr. Natsume's. His had a tea ring, meaning that the tea was left inside, while this one was just gone. Near did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. I feel like I could present that there, but just in case, because I tend to go like I tend to go off the rails with presenting evidence right away. So I'll try this out and see what happens.
Objection.
Okay, there we go. I knew something was up. You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question. But that's impossible. How? Chop logic. What is this, ye dark-clad fiend? Ye dark-clad fiend? The two teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them, one that represents incontrovertible proof. Incontrovertible? What difference? Look at the inside of the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring. Yes, it says here, a tea ring, commonplace enough. I love that he has a big old parchment for the tea, just like, yes, I see the tea. Indeed, such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in the cup for a while. And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring. Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean. And prithee, sir, what makes this style of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted, "Drink tea while it's hot." Was everybody just waiting like, drink? Okay, your turn. Tea, your turn. Drop it like it's hot. That's right, yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well after the several hours the tea was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamspear, you clearly lied to the court. Get thee to a nunnery! Nice.
Objection.
He poured himself another cup. Chalice. As a rule, I fill my hallowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. You might want to keep that information to yourself. Wait, did he drink it? He poured another one right away. Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamspear. Yes, my liege? Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused's cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Yeah. Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? 2. A fact that have vanished from your memory until now. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician. For verily, 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. What? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection.
And you've just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before? Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection.
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only. And secondly, that this spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have bewitched this court. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words... Oh, he's serious now. The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. Ugh. What does this mean then? I do declare it means there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony. Apart from the bit about thieving gas, obviously. My lords, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery Alehouse that night, not did pass my lips, but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death. And on what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake of my favorites. A broth as wouldst be called soup, and a leaf as wouldst be called salad. Ah yes, salad. As insalubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment 'tis seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas. But, I pray ye wise and noble fellows, ne'er forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Oh. Everybody's just gasping. Jurors all, your humble servant Shamspirit doth entreat you, punish a Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord! If I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman? I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer. By me? I do declare you may be right. We all know the waif there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm. But this lawyer lad says if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been leading up us the garden path, that's what he's been doing. I really never said anything like that. But what we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it. Oh boy, are we going to do another examination, proclamation, whatever it is? The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman, and will duly hear the jury's findings. What? No! You can't yet! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty!
Oh boy.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Oh boy, we're gonna play this. We're gonna do the song and dance again. Fantastic. I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord. Oh, happy day. How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well, the court up. I'm the only one that's doing it, right? It's like, here we go again. Typical, my learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth. This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged.
Oh boy.
Judicial findings. Let's do it. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man will want to avoid paying. The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? This one's gonna be a tough one. I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind. No, you really should mind. The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we hoped. And Mr. Shamspear was poisoned. There can't be no doubt of that. Then how are we supposed to turn this around? I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspear was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly. But that's surely almost impossible at this stage. If we don't manage it though, Mr. Natsume will be found guilty. No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. Alright, let's do it. The mouse and me. We will do it, Mousema. I'm a man of logic, man. Having considered all of the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. All the evidence, you say? That's right. And there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with the big mustache. Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache. Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind. If only we had that kind of evidence. Don't worry, this summation examination has barely started, really. Perhaps there'll be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light. Let's hope so. To start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock. Let's keep going with this. I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man will want to avoid paying. This isn't the time or the place to be discussing the price of gas, madam. But really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas, and air is free. Why should Altamont gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever. This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless either. If I might interject here. Ah, yes, madame. It seems my fellow juror takes issue with the price our company charges for gas. But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up. Oh, what a beastly man. That unkempt mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas. Utterly unforgivable. No, Mr. Natsume isn't the one who's been stealing gas. I'll thank you not to go adding on more crimes. Mr. Natsume hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas. Gas is a made up price, it is. The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal gases. Could we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir? Well, if you like, I mean, to be honest, I take poison over gas every time. You take poison? What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it? Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man. Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room. Ugh. You're right. I hadn't considered that at all. Young lawyer man. Yes? You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative. If this doesn't work out, I can work for B Company. Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. Anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here in case you haven't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now. All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings. What about electricity, huh? What about getting electrocuted? What about that? It's not fun, that's for sure. A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison. Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the death of your gas is deplorable. My point exactly, but the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know? Hold on, chat, give me 1 second. I wonder if this will be good. I wonder if a little cushion would help out with the back. Like, I'm not a big fan of this chair. Oh my goodness, that helps out a lot. This pillow really helps out a lot. It's a pretty thick pillow. All right, cool. I think this will help for a while. Yay, my back won't hurt anymore as much. Oh man, nice. More devious? Ooh, madam. Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers fair and square. Indeed, nobody is questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company. But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have gas at all. What? Well, if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that. They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible? Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing. They're diverting gas in their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of death. When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to his tricks. Oh. Has he been doing that?
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh golly gosh, oh dear me, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry, I was just thinking to myself. I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct? Well, yes. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see? Go on. An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did? I'm afraid I have no idea. Please tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there. Oh, please, everybody knows, but it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell ya. What do you mean? I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network. Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it? Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment. I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker. Wow, did I read that right? Sorry about that. If upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes. Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker by blowing into pipes. The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might. And you can guess what happened, can't you? Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean... That's right, the lights didn't just flicker, they went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house. What a disaster. The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out. I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all, I said? So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. So somebody blew into the pipe to make the rooms cold. Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps... Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information. Oh, well, if you like, I don't mind. Well, I do. That's our company's secret method of identifying the rogues that try to diddle us. Like I said, madam, it's widely known already. Very well, juror number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly. Blow into a pipe very hard and poof. Imagine that's the way of figuring it out. If you blow into a pipe, what if you suck instead? What if you just want to just suck in gas? You're just like, just dead. Immediately, gone, forgotten. So blow too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house, and then you're in real trouble. If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other... Maybe 3 and 6?
Objection.
These two statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious. Because the thing is, maybe someone did put their lips on a pipe rather than a cup of tea. To whose statements do you refer, counsel? Juror number 6, did you hear what juror number 3 just said? What? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other. There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a matter of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question. What? What explanation? I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene? To see if there were any traces of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe? Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance. Oh, what a piece of work is a man. What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspear? What speaketh thou? Pretty is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir. I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds into the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body. Good lord. I mean, it could be possible. Are they tasty then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying? Or is it the gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry, he tried to fill his belly with gas? Perhaps no actress will perform a kiss scene with him, For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you, I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Objection!
Oh, 3. This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friends' conjecture. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips to the pipe that feeds it... Wait a minute. Pipe, fingers, peep, pipe, hand, wall, pipe. I think we got our proof. The pipe. He's been putting his lips on the pipe. In order to have placed his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have to been a contortionist. These are empty assertions, or there is no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Objection.
Yubi? It's true, I have no proof that Mr. Shamspear put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspear has been doing something in front of his lamp on this wall. Ooh, and I have evidence to prove it. Alright, you've got our attention, lad. Oh, fingers. Is that like fingers in Japanese or something? Yubi? Alright, you got our attention, lad. I like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. Korone's catchphrase. The VTuber Korone-chan? I need to watch her more. I gotta watch more VTubers. Alright, you know what? I'm quitting Twitch and YouTube to watch more VTubers. Alright, thanks. So would I. Let's see this evidence then. Now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that time and time again, Mr. Shamspear stood in front of his gas lamp. He's been putting his fingers on the wall to suck from the pipe. That is really weird, by the way. Really weird statement. He's been sucking the pipe. What the? These are... Wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found at the scene. Skin prints, Counsel? I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however. My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Mr. Sherlock Holmes. It reveals all the places that Mr. Shamspear touched in his room. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it? They start burning Sherlock right now. They're like, burn the witch! Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's that great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure. I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating. We found skin prints in many places that you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspear also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here, around the hanging picture there, indeed multiple handprints appear to be visible. Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork perhaps? That much? Like, ooh. At first my colleagues and I thought the same, however, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are and you would find yourself directly in front of... I don't believe it. The gas pipe. Pipe. I'm gonna say pipe instead of pipe now, I like that. Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspear has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp. Right. What have you been up to, you nut? I'm not a nut. I asked the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement. Me? What did I say? You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now, if you recall juror number 3's statement... What? Me now? When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights in the gas stove to go out, and gas started leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is... if Mr. Shamspear were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will. Crikey! Are you suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to...
Objection!
Ooh. I love the pouring sound effect. Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during the summation examination, I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this, Lord Von Zeeks? This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin print, clearly that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case. But it's an exciting new forensic technique developed by a great detective. Is nothing. 5. A mere toy developed by an amateur sloth, with too much time on his hands. Certainly, even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence. But... please, my lord, if I may. Miss Usato? It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene, as a tool by which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we're gonna allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree. Oh, she's smart. You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not is down to us to decide. Juror number 3? Oh yes, I do declare the Great Detective's investigation result sounds absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what that shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints. Hey. Mr. Sholmes does it again. What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy. Well, I did say it, didn't I? And I don't like to break a promise. No, wait! You heard his lordship is not fair dinkum evidence. I don't care. Half and half. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. If just one more jury changes his or her mind, Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue. Thank you, Miss Susato, but I couldn't have done it without you. Holy flip, Susato-san is amazing. She is amazing. Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success. Why, Mr. Shamspear? You seem to be losing your composure. My back broke. Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it. Ganbatte, Naruhodo-san. Continue, counsel. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, we already got to that. Changed her mind, changed her mind. Gas doesn't come for free. Let's continue here. Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now. I get it. All I've heard about are wonderful fuels, explosions, and poisonings. What about electricity, huh? What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison. Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the death of your gas is deplorable. My point exactly, but the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know. More devious? Who, madam? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies? Oh, wait. Is she gonna talk about the others that they don't have gas at all? Okay, so I think we already got this much in. They steal the gas. They make pipes. They take the money without them knowing that they're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. Okay, so I did... One of these devious companies have been up to its tricks, and then that's when 3 was like, oh. I had no idea. It's almost unbelievable. It might seem unbelievable to you, but it's happening all the time, right here in the capital. It's very difficult selling something you can't see, you know? Very difficult indeed. So, can I sell air to the chat? Anybody want to buy air? Thank you, that will do. Clearly, this is a very involved subject, but I feel we have digressed rather too much already. Digressed. I concur. Though if my learned friend wishes to become an expert in gas, I believe the subject will suit him well. To your new career in nothingness. Thank you so much. You will turn your attention to the next juror's assertion, please, counsel. Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. You mean it's poisoned? That's right. It's happened a tidy few times now. This is most troublesome indeed. It's always days like this one when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see? And I see her doing it, my wife. She gets that devilish look in her face, and she slips some white powder into my cup. And you drink it anyway? I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. And what happened to you? What did it taste like? It was god-awful, you believe you me. Salty as hell. So, it was salt. Ah, she assaulted him, I get it. Then I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt. No! So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable. Let's move on, please. Let's see. Sketchy tea. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune. Haven't considered all the evidence. The defendant must logically be guilty. What can I present that can help me out here? Do I have to present evidence somewhere? Let me see. Let me go check my evidence real quick. Handprints on the wall. Gas meter. Don't think anything else like that would help out. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. The tea the wife serves up for you is a little sketchy at times. Don't think 5 is gonna help. So is it just 1 and 4 now? Because what am I gonna do with sketchy salty tea? That's not gonna help at all. Gas doesn't come for free. Let me go back to 1 real quick.
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say? That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with the big mustache. Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache. But the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that? What, your so-called skin prints? It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself. The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamspeare had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was. Well, yes, I won't deny that it's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides, yes, even if the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipa dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it? Oh. If you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance. You do make a very valid point, sir. What? That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty. No, wait. Wait, were they about to change their mind again? Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese cohorts can, that is. Just leave our nationality out of this, please. Mr. Naruhodo, if we can't substantiate our position... Is that a feather? I think one of the feathers are flying around. I'm afraid the jurors that changed their mind before may very well change them back. What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamspeare really did blow the gas pipe on the night in question? Gas pipe. Because the thing is, like, I don't think he'll take that as evidence, but is there another way? Is there another way I can prove that he blew down the gas pipe? He collapsed. I don't know what to use here. I pretty much have to submit something, so right now I'm gonna save. I don't think I have the evidence, so I'm gonna try supporting testimony. No, in truth, I don't have any evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it. What's that? Testimony? This is incredible. Whose testimony? Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. A person whose testimony revealed details about the gas and the Garrett residence that night. Namely, revealed details about the gas. That would have to be Queen Bee right here. She revealed details about the gas, but no, about the gas. Wait, Mr. Garrett talked about the lights going out, right? I'm gonna use him. Oh, that didn't help at all. He did talk about the lights going out. Like, he did talk about the freaking flickering lights. But I guess it wasn't him. Let's see, who... Testimony. That is incredible. Whose testimony is all connected. Detailed about the gas. Who talked about the gas? Who spoke about the gas?
Take that!
I guess that didn't work either. It's like if the music doesn't stop, I don't know, so I'm at a loss right here. Do I use evidence or what? Because if I present evidence and use that skin thing again, it's not gonna work, I'm pretty sure. So let me try presenting evidence and see if that works right there. I'm like thinking all these thoughts right now, yet I'm pretty sure the stuff that I'm thinking right now. Because I could use this right here, the handprints on the wall.
Take that!
I can use that, but that's not gonna work because he doesn't. That's not acceptable. So that's not gonna work right there. Who talked about the gas? It's like the supporting testimony seems to be the right option. So let me try this again. A person whose testimony revealed details about the gas and the Garda residence. It's like Meter Man can be the guy. It's like I either use Natsume or Shamspear.
Take that!
But it's not, I'm pretty sure that's not the thing. I'm pretty sure that I don't know how to continue with this right now. I'm still trying to think. So let me try the testimony thing again. Who else? Reveal details about the gas.
Take that!
Oh, Natsume. Oh my goodness, because he talked about the gas going out. He talked about it going out. Oh my goodness. I was on the right path, but I didn't choose the right person. He talked about it. Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. The defendant? At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following. My lodgings. There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. Even on that fateful night it happened, when I returned from Mr. Shamspear's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me. I was on the right path, I just kept choosing the wrong people. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out, so I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not? Good golly. So that Shamspear fellow blew air into the gas pipette to make the man's stove go out on purpose? Now hold your horses there. What would he do that for? Mr. Foreman? What is he, man? We cannot allow judgment to be passed while this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have any conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree, there is more to this case than meets the eye. Transformers? Ugh. Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic first and foremost. And would you look at that? We changed their minds. Hallelujah and all that other stuff. That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering the decisions. 2 jury members now called guilty, 4 now called not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted and in accordance with the law of this land. I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Mr. William Shamspear? My lord, how can thy humble Shamspear serve thee? What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination? So God meant me? I do solemnly swear. I recall aught of either the lamp or the peeper. But your handprints have made a tidy mess all over the wall there. How'd you explain that, eh? I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5. Oh, who, me? As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in a British court of law. Ugh. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains, at this time, unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that. Ugh.
Objection.
But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there...
Objection.
What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required. Yes. Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have been completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible. Ugh. I didn't think of that. In any case, counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipe at work where you lived? There's only one possibility that I can think of, and that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder. Woodar, counsel, precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end? The answer couldn't be simpler. Now we've unraveled the mystery this far. Mr. Shamspeare wanted to end the life of Mr. Natsume. If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing. I live round those parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lit is pretty much suicide. You'd freeze to death in no time. Mr. Garadeb, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamspeare was trying to end. Outrageous. I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim this man was trying to murder. Good gracious.
Objection.
Oh, of course. The accused is actually the aggrieved? Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here. What? How can you still claim that? Let us indulge your fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there? Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill. Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison? Oh. So now they're trying to pin it back on the defendant, saying that he's the one to put poison around the pipe. So now we must ask, how could anyone have known of Mr. Shamspeare's murderous designs? You mean to suggest? Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known. What? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was a clear retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Whatever Mr. William Shamspeare may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could possibly have perpetuated that attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused, far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that sus is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend? Ah! Now that makes my back hurt. Great, now they're pinning it back to the defendant. And I'm dead. How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly? Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage. What advantage? Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsumi of guilt. You mean name the true culprit? I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all. As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison, it's all pointing to a particular person now. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. What? Oh, don't you worry. We know exactly. Could this be the reason things change for the better? There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit? A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives, my Nipponese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax. Thank you. Tell us, my Lord Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime? Who is the reason they are poisoning the pipes? It can't be Mr. Natsume, and it can't be Garradeb. I see no reason why any of these two should be doing it. Who sadly passed away a month ago as a result of gas poisoning. I'm trying to think right now, because the guy did die of a poisoning, and he could have been killed by him by freaking Shamspeare as well. So it can't be Duncan Ross. And she did have poison, but that was after the doctors. Who else had poison? The true culprit has to be somebody else. Let's see. The evidence to poison is all pointing to a particular poisoned person now. Somebody did put poison. But who, though? Wait. I'm gonna try Duncan Ross. I don't think that worked, though. No. So, he couldn't... Okay, it wasn't him. That was just a thought. Just a random thought right there. That didn't work. Who could have done it? While I try to crack out my back. Can't be Meter Man. It can't be Queen Bee. Why would she want to do that? They don't know about the pipes, I guess. Or they do. They probably do. Who else could it be? Just for kicks, I'll choose Olive. Oh. The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare is, I believe... I had a feeling... Miss Olive Green? Miss Olive Green? Yeah, I know, I was like... I was thinking, because I know that he died of gas poisoning, which is... And then I said, which could have been caused by Shamspeare. So, I just thought like... Could she have done that? just to get revenge? And she tried to like drink she tried to drink poison herself to like off any crimes. I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Council, but I don't recall where. Ms. Olive Green, the woman from 6 days ago. I keep hearing things, sorry. The victim in the recent case of stabbing on Briar Road, an incident for which Mr. Natsumi was arrested, I hasten to add. Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe, but I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago. And I hardly need to remind the court that Mr. Shamspeare's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. True, on the night that the incident occurred, Miss Green was in hospital unconscious, so on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible, but still. My colleagues and I visited Miss Green in hospital yesterday, and we found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison. Good gracious, she had poison? And there was another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court. Tell me, Mr. Shamspeare. My lord, pray, what be thy bidding? Are you acquainted with Miss Green? No, never heard of her. Now that's sus. Judging by the look on his face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her. At least not by name. As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my Lord Nipponi's friend's farce through to its conclusion. I appreciate that. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here. Yes, Miss Olive Green. Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient. Very well, I grant the request. Excellent. Excellent, I hope. The defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say, but at the present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, counsels. Sorry about that. Thank you, counsels. We will reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned. Man, this case just goes on and on, but we're getting closer to the bottom of this. And it seems this will be continued next time. I gotta say, it's great to be back, and we will continue this game next time. But I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Thank you for watching the stream. I hope this was a great return, as we're gonna figure out who did the thing, who did the deed next time. But before we go, everybody, let's do a little raid, shall we? Let's go right there, somebody. Let's go right there, Pompulus. We'll go raid Pomp, alright? So I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I'll catch you tomorrow with another game. And until then, I'll catch you another time. Peace out, everybody. Bye-bye. And that is my time.